What's going on? I am DC, your host of Talk to Me Nice DC. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about sexual compatibility in relationships. I have two guests today, Kendra Crump and Jay Hobbs. We're going to get their opinions on what is sexual compatibility and how we navigate through these things. Does this apply to you? Why don't we talk about these things? I want to talk about it. Tune in. Talk to Me Nice DC. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. Introduction, let the people know who you are.
My name is Kendra Crump, aka the H&IC, because I am the head nigga in charge. Put some respect on my name. I currently got 100 concubines. I'm trying to make it 101. So if you want to be an extra concubine, holla at your girl. So yes, from Atlanta. I've been here since I was 0. And you know how if you've been in a place for so long, you want to just travel and go somewhere else. I'm trying to travel to Rapper the Game's house. And when I do, I'm going to let all my hoes go, okay? Because I do have hoes in different area codes, all right? Word of Chris Lover. All right? And so yes, JC Terrell Taylor. I'm tired of shouting you out every podcast I go. You need to respond back to my DM that I sent you. And I'm putting my finger in your face, sir. I sent you on April 19th, 2020 at 1:38 in the morning time, okay? Yes, please do that. But yeah, I'm a free-spirited hippie who's a college graduate. I'm graduating May 15th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, then I can go and pay these student loans off, but not really because I'm getting it deferred again. So I can get my doctorate. You can call me Dr. Crump. So you can bring your badass kids to me because I'm going to be a child psychologist. But guess what? I'm not going to hurt them. I promise. The end.
Okay, awesome. Jay?
All right, yeah, Jay Hobbs, originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Based in Washington, D.C. My profession is in real estate, and here to answer any of your questions. Let's go.
All right. Well, I am your host, DC, and this is Talk to Me Nice DC. Again, I want to thank you guys for taking time out to speak with me. So I'm going to start it off like this. Does sexual compatibility matter in relationships, in today's relationships? Do either of you guys have any views on that? Does it matter?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
Hold on, she said it doesn't. Let's start there.
No, wait, no. Hold on, wait. I was saying, let me clean it up. It does. But I think if you have personality, you know, if you have other things to, you know, attributes that, because the problem that I come across with so many adults is that if you take away sex from that relationship, that person don't have much to offer. So, you know, you want to be able to still be that person's friend. You want to be able to still say, okay, you know, even if we don't have any sex or any whatever it might be, I can still vibe with you. Like, I don't have to be gone off, you know, some Alizé and Cristal for me to get my freak on with you or anything else like that. So, yeah, I mean, society says it does, but I feel like you have to think outside the box with it.
All right, so here's my take real quick. So I'm basing it on what you just said, and it sounds like what I heard was if you take sex out of a relationship sometimes, then the person doesn't have anything else to offer. So my thought would be, one, before you even get to that point, you want to make sure that you're friends, you know, so you want to have like some type of foundation to be able to have synergy, you know, just within the relationship itself. And then, you know, the sex definitely has to be, you know, on par. Like, that's a huge part of the relationship, you know? So, at least to me, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, I'm attracted to whoever I'm with. And, you know, when it's time to be intimate, you know, there definitely has to be chemistry there. So I think it's really important, you know?
Okay. I see where both of you guys are coming from. Sex plays a different part for, you know, in relationships with different people. Some people can base their relationship based around, you know, sexual needs and desires, and some people don't. But I think that in itself needs to be a compatibility factor that you need to take into consideration, because if you're not basing a relationship around sex, then your partner should kind of feel the same way, or at least understand where you're coming from. And that's just a part of communication, I feel. And so that kind of segues into the next question. How much of a
Hold on. We got to go back. So,
Kendra, what's up?
You mean to tell me if JC is coming to the bedroom and you guys are not on the same level, you good playing games, you're okay?
If he's playing games and he's about to, no, I'm not gonna be okay. Hold on, Jay. Let me tell you something, Jay.
What's up?
Yes, from the outside looking in, yes, to me he's an attractive man. Okay, I'm like, I love how he's got tattoos. That means he can tap my name somewhere on his body, so I know it's real. Okay, I love that. But at the same time, if his spirit is ugly, if he says the wrong thing to me, let's just take away he's not even a celebrity. Okay, because you got people everyday, regular people who still disrespect, women, men, whomever. But if I'm having a conversation with him and I realize that he ain't talking about nothing, I realize he's a boring person, forget like the fact that he actually looks good. I'm like that. I'm gonna be instantly turned into a Sahara Desert. Okay, that's it.
Hold on, we talking about spirit with a gangster rapper.
And let's say if he wasn't, I'm saying if he's a regular person, like let's pre him making it.
But he's not. It's the game.
Okay, so all right.
I feel like in my spirit, you believe that you guys are gonna be on the same level. That's how I feel.
We are gonna be on the same level. I think he seems like a cool guy, but again, this is something I realized, and somebody pointed this out to me. They said you do realize that because he came out when I was like in elementary school. So what I realized as I got older, like bro's really a clout chaser, and that is a turnoff to me. I'm just there so I can just get some head from him and go on about my day. The end. Okay.
Okay. All right. So basically, from what both you guys are saying, if you were to put a level of 1 to 10 on sexual compatibility needed from a partner, from you, Jay, you seem like you lean more towards, needed, and from you, Kendra, you leaning towards not so much. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you range that in importance in looking for a partner?
I'd say definitely has to possibly be a more so a 7, 8. And the reason I say that is because if I plan on spending the rest of my life with you, I do want that part right there to be cool. Last thing I want to do is go get my blow up doll in my closet and have to go and be coming in a new relationship with that. Okay, that to me is the worst. Or you got people out there who have to go and pay for it. You have a lot of couples out there who are just in a just very much unhappy relationship, but they're staying because that's all that they know. They don't want to start over. I mean, hell, I don't want to show somebody new my titties. Okay, I'm gonna show the same food that I've been with for the last 30 years of my life. Stuff like that. Let him compliment these probably 30 years saggy tits. Okay, right now they're good. Shout out to the women out there who got saggy tits at 20. You're irresponsible. Back to the story. But yeah, like I said, I think the thing is that does matter, but again, I feel like, okay, for example, I'm a sapiosexual. Basically, I get turned on by intelligence, all right? So if you can turn me on by like saying a SAT word that actually goes with the sentence, you ain't just saying it. And I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, bro, this has nothing to do with the sentence. Like, you actually make me say, wow, like I just get excited. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm telling you, man. I done had a few random people. I'm like, oh shoot, I see a marriage ring. Kendra, stop out of it. They're married. Get out of it, Kendra.
Okay.
1 to 10, I think. So that's like you can't just look at that in a silo, because if you say 1 to 10, it makes me feel like the entire relationship is about sex. I don't feel that way. As a component of a relationship, and I'm judging sex being important on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going with the 10. Like, I mean, I just feel like that's why, like, my initial reaction is that I'm going to be physically attracted to whoever it is that I'm with. So if I'm physically attracted to you, as the first thing, I think the intellectual part follows for me. Just being able to have a conversation with someone and feel like, we're on the same page there. But then, when you get back to like the intimate part of it, you definitely want to feel like, you're going to be satisfied, especially if you're committing to a long-term relationship. Now, that relationship could look different for many people. You may have a monogamous relationship, you may have an open relationship, but you still want to have, that chemistry to be there for whoever it is that you're with.
Definitely. I agree with you both. I feel for relationships, there's different points of relationships where you address different issues or different compatibility issues. Like you said, intelligence is one thing. I think we all want more than just one thing. Of course, sex is not just, the main thing. When I asked that, I asked that as, the icing on the cake. If everything else is going well, how does this thing, affect the relationship? And I feel at some point you do address sexual compatibility, whether it be in the beginning or towards the end. And I noticed, when I was growing up, it was kind of opposite. It was in the beginning, whereas now, it's more of a thing I look towards in the end, because you have to get past all the other obstacles that I have, or standards I've set for myself, or expectations I've set for myself to even get to that conversation. So I agree with you both. And that goes into the next question. Can a partner with lack of sexual experience turn you on or turn you off when you get to that point in a relationship?
Well, how long are we dating? Like, how long is this part, are we dating?
Well, for you, what's comfortable for you when you get to a point where you're comfortable enough to be sexually aroused or interested in your partner, and you get to that point and they don't have experience? Would that like change your view of them? Would it matter, or would it be something that you work on? Would it be a deal breaker?
Well, it depends on how old they are. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick little story. Let me give you guys a quick backstory so you guys won't be thinking, oh damn, like I thought you were already okay. Quick little backstory. So I'm still a virgin. My throat is not. This cat has not been penetrated, but this throat, has taken a few peens in the mouth some at some point in my life. Whole years of lit. Great. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, okay. I'm addicted to head, okay? I really am, but I have got to the point where I have to have self-control, because there are a lot of people out there who are not clean. They're asymptomatic people that don't know that they're asymptomatic, and they're walking around with an STD. Shout out to the people out there who are sharing the same STD medication. I see you. Back to the story. Those couples out there, I'm like, come on now. Shame on you. Back to the story. So I remember I came across this one dude, and he was 40 years old. This was like 2 months ago. Or no, it was a month ago, okay, some change, right? And he mentioned to me a year and some change back. He's like, oh, well, I'm a great licker. Now, here's the thing. I get a little skeptical of people who brag on it, all right? Because it can go one or two ways. Either they're really good or they're really not. So, but you don't know. It's like a toss-up. It's a gamble, right? And so what happened was, after knowing this guy for, over a year, talking to him consistently, I said, you know what? Hey, that's what you want to do. Let's do it. Look, finally, I wasn't in nobody's house. We ain't in the backseat of the car. I'm like, I'm doing grown man, to grown folks type stuff. This is exciting. Child, I could have just stayed at his house first. I get to get to the hotel, right? And mind you, his fingernails. And there's a few things I look at with a man. I look at their fingernails. Okay, I gotta see like, okay, do they look like you're a car mechanic and been playing in dirt, or what's going on, right? His fingernails they just look. I don't know what happens. Fingernails look bad, and then he was trying to have a whole conversation prior to what's gonna happen. I'm like, brother, like, you want to have a monologue, go start your own podcast. I don't care to talk about nothing right now. Are you going to give me some head or not, bro? Come on. So, okay. First 5 minutes, it starts off pretty good. Or, okay. Then 10 minutes later, he's still down there, and then my clit just went numb, and I'm like, oh, gosh, this is not good. Needless to say, 3 hours later, finally took him to make me come, and then he had the audacity to ask me, well, how did I do? You should know how you did, sir. You gonna know how you did, all right? So, again, I was turned off. He said something about, can you come over here like often and just help my beard grow? Sir, please. I'm going to report you to the Better Business Bureau. Your services suck, okay? You're terrible. You, like, literally, this is the worst that I've had this year, okay? This is the worst I've had this year. Terrible. So to answer your question, it depends on how old they are. They 19 going on 20. Okay, I can work with you. Because, hey, we're in the same age group, and stuff like that. It's not bad. That means, hey, I hold that power. I'm King Kong around here, right? But if you are over the age of 30, and again, there are some 30-year-old males that aren't experienced either. But again, just as long as you tell me that, hey, Kendra, I'm not experienced. Okay, so we can watch a movie, we can all whatever it might be. Wonderful world of YouTube tells you everything. So again, it depends on how old you are. But if you like 45, 50, like brother, you got 12 kids. I don't know how you got those 12 kids, but I don't know, like you terrible. The end.
Okay.
Oh man, I haven't had too many experiences, so they'd have to teach.
Jay, do you know how to look a cat good enough to make a woman probably come a couple times? Or are you okay in that area? Just be honest.
I think I can hold my own.
All right, you want to go to the family restroom after this?
I don't know if my tongue can reach that far. Yeah, man, it's a great thing. I think it goes back to chemistry. It's a great thing for people to be, on the same level or within a few degrees. But you definitely you come across people who have different experiences or lack of experience, and it just depends on where you are. There was a time in life where I was just like, I'm not really interested in coaching anybody anymore. But if I if I really like someone, then I think there's leniency there, flexibility to be able to work with the person, and that goes back to communication. You got to be able to tell somebody what you like, what you don't like, and make him or her feel comfortable enough to be able to do the same.
Okay. Well, definitely agree with both of you, but what I take from what both of you are saying is experience does matter. On each independent, and it matters because when you got somebody that know what they're doing, it makes things a lot easier. It flows a lot better, and that is easy to get yourself aroused, because if you don't have someone who know what they're doing and you got to focus on helping them, it kind of makes it more like a job. And most of the time, sexually, you don't want it to feel like a job when you're teaching all the time. Sometimes you're in the mood to teach or give a lesson, and sometimes you just want to sit back and enjoy the ride. I get that. Next question. What is considered a normal or healthy sex life with a partner? What do you consider normal?
Go ahead, Jay.
I'm just gonna go with where you feel satisfied. I think that's like, that's depend from person to person. I don't want to say like once or twice or 5 days a week or whatever it may be. It's just, as long as you feel satisfied, then you're good.
Okay.
I think you can definitely, you guys have to communicate about that. Like for example, all right, I remember once upon a time, which not that long ago, a few years back, there was this guy, and like we literally the entire summer we would just always give head to each other, right? But then I got bored after like 2 weeks straight of doing that every day. So I had to find like a balance of trying to figure out, okay, how much is good enough? And what I realized is I don't know anymore because that was a few years back. So I think I'll have to retry it again. But I think maybe it just depends, how y'all are feeling. Like, okay, babe, wait, I'm already worn out from like 5 days ago. You know how like Terry Crews says, once you go black, you get in a wheelchair, babe, I'm still in a wheelchair. Let me heal up first, okay?
Okay. Yeah. I think it goes back to communication. I mean, with having a healthy sexual relationship. It's as healthy as you make it. And I feel like if you're not vocalizing that on what you consider your needs, it can turn into something that, might not be healthy or might be resentment. Just simply communication. So this is an interesting question for you both. And it could go from, any aspect of sex. Does the number of partners matter in today's relationship to you? Do you think it matters? So if you meet a guy and he tells you, a certain number, is it like, oh no, that's too much, or are we past that? Because
we should be past that though. Like, you know what? I be asking people, I'll be like, what's your body count? They're like, Kendrick, who still keeps body count? So, and then on top of that, like, I think I had one dude, he told me he like had like sex with like 250 women, right? And I got scared because I'm like, oh gosh, it's kind of nasty, but then again, I was like, I mean, hopefully he's grown up out of that now. It should not matter because, as long as he went through it, as long as it's not like, okay, while we're together, you're still out there trying to still find what you need. So I don't think it matters. I mean, hell, the problem is I done told women, I'm like, hey, these are how many guys or women or whomever, because I'm a free spirited person. These are how many people that I've been down in my little happy place, my hoo-ha. And they were like, wow, Kim Russell.
Yeah, I think for me, the questions about numbers has evolved, so I'll probably let that go, maybe well back in college, man. The types of numbers I ask about now are, what's your credit score? How many stamps you have in your passport? That type of number, you know what I mean? So I'm not necessarily considered or worried about, her past because, if I'm in her present, hopefully I'll be able to hold the future too.
Okay, that was powerful. I'm still clapping. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I feel like we've evolved past the number. I thought about it, and as I thought about it, I was like, why did we ever glorify the number? And I think we only did that back then was because you associated a high number with the possibility of having a STD. Now, if you can pass, no matter what your number is, if you pass the test, I mean, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. You pass the test and come back clean, that's all I'm concerned about. You can get an STD from one partner, so the number shouldn't really matter today. But, you have some people who are concerned about that because, they want to feel more close or intimate with their partner and not feel like they're just a number themselves. So I get it. So let me ask this question. So does the number for men and women today, do you feel like we still view that the same, or you still feel like we have different standards for men and women when they give their number?
I think we have different standards. Now, problem, I hate that, society's always going to say like men are supposed to be out there, sowing their royal oats, and women are supposed to be very pure virgin girls. I'm like, bro, like how y'all having all this sex if women claim that they're pure and virgins? Come on now. Right. Come on, let's keep it real here. Who are these women that you're with? And on top of that, a lot of these girls, like they try to fake the funk, but I'm like, bro, I saw that video tape. You didn't think I saw, but I saw that tape. You know what's so crazy? Side note, I hang out with a lot of guys, and they each, 95% of them have shown me a video of some woman that they were doing something with, and I'm like, wow, some women are, a little bit more open than me, because I'm like, everything stays on my phone. So yeah, that answers my question.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. I think unfortunately, this double standard still exists, and it's a part of, I think, the general society. But I mean, I just kind of feel like I look at things a little bit differently anyway. But unfortunately, there's still just double standards. Not just there, but in a lot of different categories.
Like what? Care to elaborate?
On different categories?
Yeah, like, I mean, what are these categories that there's that?
So, I mean, you just have like just overall sexist thoughts, like where women aren't better than men in certain areas or categories. Something specific. I mean, I just think there's just a double standard for women in general. I think like that's what they've been fighting for long, to try to just gain, what's perceived as equal rights, whether it be pay, like how they're treated in different scenarios. I mean, it's a lot of different things, man. Okay. Yeah, I'll just go with that.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, I definitely agree with both of you guys. I feel like, the standards are different. I feel like men get glorified for their sexual conquest, whereas women, they have to be humble about it. But in today's society, especially with social media, it seems like a lot more women are becoming emboldened about, what they do. And I find that, very interesting to see, very interesting to watch the shift and how most people perceive women. And I feel like, is you do what you do. At the end of the day, there's somebody out there for everybody. Not everybody is going to be prudish or, sexist about, how you present yourself or how you live your life. So, although both of you are saying that, we're past the number counting and we're past, how people should view that, but yet there's a scale, a different scale for men and women. Do you feel that people are honest about their sexual partners, their number? Do you feel like, you know, if somebody were to ask you, that's something you're comfortable enough in today's society to be honest about?
I can say something. If I can remember. That's the first thing I want to say. Like, I think the number is 50 now. You know, like 50 people giving me head and maybe like 10 me giving them head. I feel like, you know, I always made sure my number of giving was going to be lower than, you know, receiving. I don't know. I just felt like it was going to make me look better as a person. I still feel that same way. Anyway.
Okay.
But no, I think the thing is, like, it should not matter. Like, you should really tell the truth about that. But if I ask the person, they say, Kendra, I really stopped counting like 10 years ago. I'm like, well, when's the last time you had an STD test? That's what I'm more concerned about. When's the last time you had an action? That's why I think people lie about that as well. You know, I'm like, but why are you lying about that? That's your health and stuff like that. I think more people need to request that anyway. But the problem is, when you're horny, you don't really care about that. You're just like thinking of, you know, scratching that itch you got.
Well said. Well said. Scratching that itch. Jay?
Really, man. I don't know. I think, you know, some people will probably be honest about it and some people, you know, won't. You know, it's just always going to be a mixed bag when it comes to, you know, being honest about yourself, because some people may just feel comfortable enough to, you know, stand in who they are. And then there are some people who may feel judged, you know, so they may not be comfortable at that moment, but, you know, share later, or they just may not be comfortable ever, you know, so it just depends.
Definitely. I definitely agree with both of you. For me, in my experience, I don't judge the honesty or the truth, but I will judge the lie. Like, if you lie about it, then I feel like if you're lying about something that I'm letting you know is not a big deal to me, then what else are you lying about? And it just opens a bunch of other doors for me and how I view the person I'm dealing with. But definitely, I feel like being honest about it. I mean, it can't hurt. I mean, because if somebody's asking a question, give them an answer. Now, it's one thing if you volunteer it because they know they can't handle it. But if you're trying to have an open dialogue and an open relationship where you're being honest, be honest. That's just how I feel. Okay. So, next question: is it okay to be honest about what your sexual needs are in your relationship? If you're with your partner, should you, or is it okay to be honest? Like, completely honest about what you're sexually into or what you're not into?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
That was my answer. Yes.
Yes, all right.
Yeah, oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, we both
need more than that, brother. Yes. Care to elaborate, sir?
And there's nothing to elaborate on. Yes.
I'll elaborate for both of us.
Okay.
Let me be the voice for both of us. If you don't tell a person what you want, they're gonna be possibly guessing. They could assume, oh, this is what they might like, and you're like, bro, I don't like any of this. Like, I'm whole 50 shades of black over here, okay? I wouldn't. I got a rope somewhere around this room. You know, I'm cool, but the problem is I hate bringing rope to people's homes, right? And I'm like, bro, where your bedpost at? Can you get out of this, like, poverty-stricken mentality? Why you got 2 mattresses on the floor? Can we have a real room up in here, please? Just saying, some bullcrap. Real bed and stuff like that. This room just looks like it's just boring. So yes, you gotta let people know what you like. Because you got some women out there, oh, he might want to be pegged. And the brother doesn't even want to be pegged. Or she might want to be teabagged. I always wanted to get teabagged. Anybody out there with clean balls, holla at your girl. Anyway, back to the story. So it's like, with all that being said, you got to talk with them, you know, because I thought every man likes his gooch licked, and I just found out what a gooch was 6 months ago, right? I said, oh, let me try to lick a gooch. The guy gets out of the shower, and I guess he forgot a little, like, piece of lint ball, I don't know, but I'm licking it, and I started doing like that. Let him know, brother, can you do better next time?
Nice.